hoping for in September? Are you hoping to be back to school as normal, back into clubs, back to church, back seeing your friends as normal? I'm really hoping that we can be back to some sort of normality. Zoom call is lovely to see your faces, but I am really missing hanging out with you and the leaders. But even though we're hoping for it, and even though it's only a few weeks away, September really, we still don't know what's going to happen, do we? And that's kind of like a lot of what the last few months has been like, just hoping for things that we can't be certain of. Now, the Bible, when it talks about hope, it isn't like that at all. The Bible talks about hope as if we're hoping for something completely certain. So we do know about the future, we're hoping for it and it's certain. The difference is a bit like this. Here's some Smarties. I quite like Smarties, but I really like the blue Smarties. Not even joking, they're actually my favourite, not making it up. And I don't like the orange Smarties, which might shock some people because apparently they're lots of people's favourite. But I don't, I like the blue ones. And if normally in life I might have a little tube of Smarties or a little box of Smarties, and I hope that there are lots of blue Smarties in there. I've no way of knowing until I open it. I can't be certain of it, but I'm hoping for blue Smarties. That's normal hope. But biblical hope, hope that we read about in the Bible, is all about, it's a bit like if I had X-ray vision, and I could look at my tube of my X-ray vision and I knew how many blue Smarties are in there. So if I could see there were lots of blue Smarties, when I say I'm hoping for blue Smarties, then I'm being certain of it. I'm hoping for the blue Smarties that I know I'm going to eat because they're definitely in there. I can see them. I've got my X-ray vision. So biblical hope is a bit like that. It's being certain of what we're hoping for. Now, we can't see the future, but we can be certain of the future. And Christian hope is a certainty of the future that God has told us about because of Jesus. We might be waiting for it, we might not be able to see it exactly, but we can be completely certain. Now, Ant's going to tell us exactly what that hope is that we find in the Bible, and Leanne is going to tell us why that's such a big deal.
So we need to be clear what this hope is about. So Paul, he talks about hope in different ways. So if you look at the book of Acts, in Acts 23, he's been imprisoned and now he's standing trial, and he says, I am standing trial because of the hope of the resurrection of the dead. Then in Romans, in chapter 5, he says, and now we boast in the hope of the glory of God. So he talks about hope in the resurrection of the dead, and then Christians having hope in the glory of God. And then in the book of Hebrews, right at the beginning, the writer of the Hebrews says, the Son, so Jesus, is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being. So Paul's talking about hope in the resurrection of the dead, and then hope in the glory of God. And then we also hear that Jesus is the glory of God. So how are all these things connected together? Well, Jesus is the glory of God.
So how does hope help us? Well, Hebrews chapter 6, verses 13 to 15 reminds us that we have to wait patiently to receive what's been promised us. It says this, when God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. And so, after waiting patiently, Abraham received what was promised. Now, we know more about this promise now. We know that his descendants, who are part of God's family, are actually those who put their trust in Jesus. We're not waiting for a physical land like Abraham. We're waiting for the perfect eternal place where we'll live with Jesus eternally. But we still have to wait patiently for it, just like Abraham did. And while we wait, hope keeps us secure. Just a few verses later, in the same chapter of Hebrews, in verse 19, we read this. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Imagine you're sitting on a bench, waiting patiently for someone to bring you the promised ice cream. But if you've been waiting a long time, you might get bored, like me, and decide instead to just get up and go for a wander and miss the ice cream. But if I'm anchored down, then I'll stay waiting patiently and I will receive the promise of an ice cream, no matter how long I'm waiting. Hope helps keep us anchored, firm and secure as we wait. When we remember the hope that we have of eternal life with Jesus, we'll keep waiting patiently. Without hope, we'll wander off and miss out on eternal life. Hope is